My marriage to the tycoon Liam Smith was purely for business. After we tied the knot, he acted cold, aloof, and barely gave me the time of day. That was until I stumbled upon his secret Twitter account. OMG, my Scarlett is so hot. Pant pant. Wow, my Scarlett smells amazing and feels so soft, I just want to cuddle her. My beloved woman is lying right beside me, yet I can only. I hate this. My face instantly flushed bright red. How does this guy have two totally different faces? I discovered the tycoon Liam's secret Twitter account completely by accident. It all started with my cat, Firecracker, who's super adorable and has a bit of a following on Twitter. That day, I posted a gorgeous picture of Firecracker, beaming as I opened the comments to see how netizens would shower it with creative, lavish praises. Then, I spotted a reply with an image attachment, "This cat looks weird, and the name's bizarre. What's weirder is there's another cat out there that looks exactly like it, lol. Who are you calling weird?" I clicked on the image and took a look. Holy crap, that cat really resembled my Firecracker. Following the digital breadcrumbs, I found the original poster's Twitter account and casually scrolled through. No cat photos here, just a pervy stream of consciousness filling the screen. OMG, my Scarlett is so hot. Pant pant. Wow, my Scarlett smells amazing and feels so soft, I just want to cuddle her. Today, Scarlett reached for the cookie jar on the shelf, exposing a glimpse of her soft, milky waist. I so want to touch it. Ugh, so cringy, but oddly entertaining. I tore open a bag of chips and kept scrolling. So what if Scarlett has someone else in her heart? As long as she's happy. I'm happy. Instantly perked up, this was juicy dramatic love triangle territory. I'm the official, City Hall stamped husband, no fling can steal my Scarlett away. I adore my darling Scarlett so much, she's the most beautiful, kind-hearted, amazing woman in the world. Too hilarious, I cracked up, laughing wildly. This guy never shut up, posting 5 or 6 tweets a day about how perfect his wife was. After scrolling through dozens of them, I finally spotted a cat photo. Ugly cat, always snuggled in my Scarlett's arms, so annoying. I zoomed in on the image, studying it closely. No doubt about it, this was Firecracker. With those wacky markings, a chunk missing from the ear, and that smug yet wise look in the eyes, there was no second cat like it anywhere. Plus, that withered succulent pot in the background. Isn't that my own balcony? I froze, instantly turning to stone. Right then, Liam's voice piped up beside me. What are you looking at? You're laughing so happily. Stiffly, I turned my neck to meet Liam's cool, composed, handsome face, the epitome of restraint. This guy put on such a straight-laced act, but behind closed doors, he was all. My cheeks flared red-hot again, and I let out a sudden, sharp ah. Liam jumped, startled, and started to speak. I clapped my hand over his mouth. Please. Don't say a word. The warm, moist sensation on my palm made me freeze. What was I doing? Shrieking, I bolted into the bedroom and slammed the door shut. Gossip turning around to bite me was the absolute peak of absurdity. I threw myself onto the big bed and rolled around several times before finally calming down a bit. Liam and I were in a business marriage of convenience. A year ago, my family was on the verge of bankruptcy. My father, in desperation, thought of arranging a marriage to save the business, but he couldn't bear to marry off my sister, and he needed to keep my brother to carry on the family lineage. So he decided to marry me off to a disgusting old man. When that old man got close to me, he carried a stale, elderly odor that almost made me vomit. Liam was the one who appeared at that moment. He descended like the Buddha from heaven, radiating golden light, and with a single sentence, he delivered us mortals, "I'll give you 5 billion to marry Scarlett." Then I became Liam's Scarlett. After the marriage, I discovered Liam was a cold, aloof, and ascetic iceberg of a CEO. He was handsome, no doubt, but too icy, so cold that people kept their distance, and even Firecracker couldn't be bothered with him. At that moment, Firecracker jumped onto the bed and rubbed against me. I pinched his chubby round face, and my thoughts drifted off again. But to say he was bad. Well, he's allergic to cats yet allowed me to adopt the stray cat, Firecracker. Plus, if he hadn't shown up, I would have either married that old man to live as a widow in name or ended up homeless as a beggar. But why is his mind full of R-rated thoughts? My head was a jumble when I suddenly heard knocking at the door, followed by Liam's voice. "Scarlett, what's wrong? Are you okay?" My thoughts froze. What if this wasn't Liam? Unlikely, but not impossible. Thinking that, I patted my still flushed cheeks and walked over to open the door. Liam wore a cool expression, but his eyes held unconcealable concern. "Do you have a fever?" "No fever, just hot and bothered, ugh." I shook the dirty thoughts out of my mind and cleared my throat. "I'm fine. What do you want for dinner?" Liam pressed on. "Really okay? Your face suddenly turned bright red earlier." I cut him off. "Really fine. Don't ask, or you'll die of embarrassment." I made 2 bowls of plain noodles, and when I set them on the table, Liam froze. He glanced at me, then down at the heart-shaped fried egg in his bowl, asking uncertainly, "For me?" I pretended indifference, nodding. Saw a recipe for heart-shaped eggs on Twitter and fried one casually. Liam gave a flat "oh," then fidgeted with his phone, looked up at the ceiling repeatedly, but didn't touch the noodles or the egg. Amused, I asked, "Why aren't you eating? Don't like it?" "No. Too hot, I'll eat later." I said okay, excused myself to the kitchen, and hid behind the door to watch him. I saw Liam whip out his phone, snap a bunch of pictures of the bowl, and type frenetically. I pulled out my phone and opened Twitter. "Scarlett made me a heart-shaped fried egg. She loves me so much. Good grief, it really is you." I dawdled in the kitchen before coming out, mostly not knowing how to face Liam, this exposed glutinous rice ball, and a big yellow millet one at that. Liam played it cool, saying casually when he saw me, "I'll do the dishes. You pick a movie." Both Liam and I are movie buffs, so we always watch a film together Friday nights. It's one of our few overlapping activities. I opened the streaming app and chose a horror flick. Normally, we watch the artsy dramas and romances I love, so I tried something different today. But 10 minutes into the movie, I regretted it. It's really terrifying. I instinctively looked at the person beside me. As I turned my head, I met Liam's gaze directly. The light was too dim, I couldn't see his expression clearly. "Do you think it's good?" I asked. Liam answered instantly, "Yes." I looked at him skeptically. Is this horror movie really good? But since he said it's good, we'll keep watching. Because I was scared, I scooted closer to Liam. My elbow accidentally touched his waist. We both froze. I silently withdrew my arm. "Sorry, it wasn't intentional." Liam replied softly, "It's okay." The movie finally ended with my silent screams. It was really frightening. Just as I was about to get up, as soon as I moved my leg, a tingling surge shot straight to my forehead. I was on the verge of tears and slowly sat back down. Liam noticed something was off. "What's wrong?" I said, "My legs are numb from fear." I thought Liam would laugh at me, but he just frowned and said coldly, "No more horror movies in the future." I tried to defend myself. "I thought you liked it." Liam froze on the spot and only after a long while mumbled, "Oh. Isn't that response too cold?" I felt an inexplicable dissatisfaction inside. Leaning on the sofa, I struggled to stand up. But Liam suddenly bent down and picked me up. I was startled and instinctively wrapped my arms around his neck. "I'll carry you to the bedroom." Liam's voice was cold, but the tips of his ears were red. "How adorable." I mumbled "oh" and tightened my arms around Liam's neck, pressing my head against his chest. "Don't drop me." As soon as I said that, Liam staggered a bit. I immediately looked up and eyed him suspiciously. "Can you handle it?" Liam's voice came from above. He gritted his teeth and said, "I can handle it, definitely can." I rested my head back against his chest and heard his heart thumping rapidly. The mouth can lie, but the heart can't. Liam walked steadily and gently placed me on the bed. But he didn't leave immediately. He stood there dully for a while, seemingly with a lot to say. We stared at each other, and I saw the cold mask on Liam's face about to crack. Only then did I suddenly realize, Liam must be afraid. He's scared to sleep alone. He insisted on playing the cool, aloof persona, and now, he's backed himself into a corner. I patted him considerately. Are you scared? Do you want to sleep together? Since we got married, we've been sleeping in separate rooms. Liam's fair face instantly flushed bright red, and his whole body stiffened like a block of wood. Like a robot that had its power button pressed. I poked him to reboot him. Oh. Yes. Sleep. Together, I'll go prepare the bed. Liam turned sharply and walked away stiffly with awkward steps. This guy, how is he so innocent? After I got out of the shower and climbed into bed, feeling drowsy, I sensed a slight dip beside me. I was so sleepy my mind was foggy. Took you so long to get here? The movement next to me paused, then Liam said something. I didn't catch it clearly, mumbled twice, rolled over, and went back to sleep. When I opened my eyes in the morning, Liam had already gotten up. I'd thought sharing a bed for the first time would make me too nervous to sleep, but I actually slept pretty soundly. Except I had nightmares all night, dreaming of 10 suns in the sky that left me roasting. Probably because the AC temperature was set too high last night. I pulled out my phone, opened Twitter, and checked my daily dose of happiness. Good Lord, Liam had updated dozens of times in a row. Scarlett's sleeping face is so adorable and sweet. Carrot, that darn cat stole my spot. The woman I adore is right beside me, yet I can only. I hate this. She worried I might be scared. She cares. Meant to give Scarlett a leg massage, but unexpectedly. Oh my God, I finally held Scarlett. She smells heavenly and feels so soft. Her waist is tiny. I want so badly. The horror flick was lame, but Scarlett looks gorgeous. Washed the dishes for Scarlett again today, so happy. She loves cooking, I love cleaning up, we're soulmates. While reading, I tried hard not to laugh, but ended up giggling so much my hands shook. My finger slipped and I accidentally hit the follow button. I unfollowed right away, but that made me seem a bit shady. This is my alt account after all, nothing's on it, so following shouldn't matter. I agonized over it, repeatedly following and unfollowing. Then, Liam followed me back. He even shot me a DM? That startled me so badly my phone tumbled out of my hand and smacked me right in the face. Ow, that hurt. I snatched up my phone, thought it over, and replied with a smile emoji. Liam, hey there, may I ask who you are? I'm your wife. I typed, I'm a wife worshipper too, I adore my wife beyond words. I concocted a cheesy tale of pining after my wife for years and finally winning her over, which won Liam's trust. Not to exaggerate, but Liam acted like he'd found his kindred spirit, eagerly insisting we become pals. I typed rapidly, yep, as long as you cherish your wife, we're solid friends. Liam, handshake emoji me, handshake emoji. Then I started fishing. You're so devoted to your wife, you two must be crazy happy together. Liam paused a good while before replying, not really. Truth is, my wife doesn't like me crying emoji. I sent a few shocked face emojis and kept the ruse going, brother, fellow traveler, my wife and I also did the marry first, love later thing. Liam immediately perked up. I could practically hear his excitement through the screen. How'd you pull that off? Teach me, I'll pay whatever you charge. The gullible fish was hooked. I chuckled and typed, no fee, just doing the right thing, treasuring your wife is every man's duty. Fill me in on your situation. After my smooth talking, Liam spilled it, my wife and I are in a business marriage, I bankrolled her family's company, she married me. But I know Scarlett always had a first love in her heart. I don't dare touch her, afraid she'll loathe me more. You don't know. Before marriage, I specifically learned a lot of things. But up to now, not one has been useful. I was baffled. What did you learn? Liam, I can't go into details. Might get banned, right? Liam also sent a you know what I mean emoji. I shouldn't have pride. Liam rattled off over a dozen messages in a row, totally overwhelming me. So all this time, he acted cold and aloof to hide his fear that I hated him? Wow, I thought he was the one who hated me. Here I am, a gorgeous beauty always right in front of him, and he never even looked at me properly. Plus, how did I not know I had a first love? Perfect fit, buddy. I was the replacement who rose up. Liam! So can you be my teacher? Teacher, what should I do? To teach better, we exchanged contact info. Of course, I gave him my alternate account. After adding each other, I started teasing him. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll never lose a battle. First, you need to know what your wife Scarlett's first love is like, so you can defeat him and replace him. Liam replied instantly, I hired someone to investigate, but nothing came up. That guy is too mysterious. He's a cunning, sly, and powerful opponent. You actually investigated me behind my back? Anger flared in me, and I wanted to smash the screen. Haven't you got a mouth? Just ask. Liam? Teacher, why are you mad? I didn't reply to Liam's messages anymore, focusing on playing with my cat. The whole morning, Liam kept trailing behind me, giving me that hesitant, wants to say something look. I played with the cat while he pretended to be on his phone nearby. I cooked while he fussed with the veggies in the kitchen. I went to the bathroom, and he followed me in. I kicked him out with one foot. Finally, as we sat facing each other eating, his gaze was drilling a hole through me, and I couldn't take it. Do you have something to say? Liam put down his chopsticks, eyes darting. I recently watched a movie where the leads were childhood sweethearts. It was pretty touching. Was it good? Liam, okay. He paused, then said awkwardly, I heard. You have a childhood sweetheart? I pretended to think hard, noticing from the corner of my eye that Liam was watching me nervously. Childhood sweetheart? No, I don't. Liam's eyes lit up, as if gaining boundless courage. I also watched another movie where the guy is the girl's true love, her first love. He deliberately emphasized first love. I found it funny and asked what then? So, do you have a first love? I blinked innocently, no, I don't. Liam's face showed unconcealed joy, and he spoke in an exaggeratedly casual tone. Actually, I recently watched one more film where the protagonist. All right, I cut him off. How many movies have you been watching behind my back? Just say what's on your mind. Liam held back for ages, then blushed and asked softly, do you know A. Chang well? I raised an eyebrow slightly. Where did you hear that name? Liam was taken aback, looking a bit nervous. The time you got mushroom poisoning, you kept saying this name. You said he bit you. Liam blushed and couldn't go on. I nodded. Yeah, once I was stupid enough to touch it, and it chased me for 3 blocks and finally bit me. Liam stared at me blankly. I couldn't help but flick him on the forehead. Idiot, Ah Chang is the husky of my neighbor. Liam still looked confused. He raised his hand to touch his forehead, then looked at me and giggled twice. So it was just a misunderstanding on my part. I pretended to be puzzled. What misunderstanding? It's nothing. Liam regained his usual cold and aloof look. He calmly picked up his phone and started typing away. But the upturned corners of his mouth betrayed his true feelings. My phone on the table suddenly started to ding. Every time he sent a message, my phone would ding. Liam paused in his typing and slowly turned his gaze to my phone screen. Damn it! I forgot to turn on silent mode. I pretended to be calm and picked up my phone, opened the chat window with my bestie and typed quickly. Quickly send me messages. The more the better. My bestie first replied with a question mark, then sent a barrage of emojis. My phone started to ding again. I pretended to sigh. Tai Chui is really something. Breaking up with her boyfriend every now and then and always coming to me to mediate. At the same time, I used my peripheral vision to observe Liam's reaction. Why is he still staring at my phone? I thought something was wrong and decided to strike first. You were smiling while typing just now. Did you see some funny joke? Liam seemed to wake up from a dream. Huh? I pointed at his phone. Can I have a look and have a good laugh too? No. Liam stood up abruptly and turned to leave. After walking a few steps, he turned back to look at me and said indifferently, This one isn't funny. I'll find some funny ones and send them to you. I nodded and watched him walk briskly into the study. As soon as Liam entered the room, my phone started to ding again. I quickly turned on silent mode and opened WeChat. Teacher, what you taught really works. I asked, and it turns out my wife doesn't have a first love. Teacher, there's someone named Tai Chue who always sends her messages. The name sounds like a guy. Could he be a rival in love? Teacher, why aren't you answering me? I replied. Busy accompanying my wife. Liam, like teacher, you're really an example for us all. Teacher, what should I do next? Well, you've come to the right person. Girls love to be loved boldly, passionately, and straightforwardly. And preferably, it should be exclusive love. All you have to do is make her feel your love. Got it? Liam asked humbly. Teacher, but how exactly should I do it? This question stumped me a bit. After all, I've never been in a relationship. I thought hard for a while and replied. Just say what you should say and do what you should do. You have to figure it out on your own. Liam, just do it? That doesn't seem right. Sigh, what the? Does Liam have the yellow river flowing in his head? It's so yellow that it's like rough and stormy waves. I was speechless and thought to myself, you're really hopeless in the head. Liam? Teacher, don't give up on me. I'm very eager to learn. Well, he was eager to learn, just not the right things. I was lying on the sofa, reading the joke book Liam sent me. Well, none of the jokes were as funny as Liam's tweets. I was about to open Twitter to have a good laugh when suddenly I heard the door of the study open. I quickly switched the interface and continued reading the joke book. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Liam walking straight to the sofa. When he sat down, he gave me a deep look. Have you gained weight recently? I was confused. No. Do I look fat? Liam nodded sincerely. Otherwise, why do you weigh more and more on my mind? I was silent. I was speechless. I said, I hear the bagpipes from afar. Liam fled in a hurry. I was cutting vegetables in the kitchen and asked Liam to get the meat from the fridge. Liam walked up to me with 2 pieces of meat in his hands. This is beef, and this is pork. I stopped what I was doing and looked at him, signaling him to get to the point. Liam blushed and said, You are the apple of my eye. I held up the kitchen knife expressionlessly. Put the meat down, turn around, and get out. Liam mechanically did as I said and even kindly closed the kitchen door when he went out. At night, I was holding my cat, Firecracker, on the balcony, enjoying the moonlight. Suddenly, Liam popped up and sat down beside me. He cleared his throat and didn't look at me. Do you know what's the difference between you and the stars? I answered immediately, the stars are in the sky, and you are in my heart. Liam turned his head abruptly and looked at me in shock. I was just about to say that these were all cheesy pick-up lines on the internet. Before I could open my mouth, I saw Liam's face turn red at a visible speed. You. Liam suddenly stood up. The movement was so big that he knocked the chair over. He nervously picked up the chair and then bumped into the wind chimes on the wall. Then he stumbled away, rubbing his head. I looked down at Firecracker and said, Is your dad crazy? Firecracker meowed. The surprises Liam brought me were far from over. Early the next morning, I was chasing a long-legged cake. I was about to catch it when, bang! The cake exploded right in front of my eyes. I suddenly opened my eyes and patted my chest. It turned out to be a dream. Bang! There was a loud noise from the kitchen. I got out of bed in a daze. Could it be that Firecracker was causing trouble in the kitchen? It shouldn't be. I closed the kitchen door last night. When I walked to the kitchen door and took a look, I was speechless. Liam was struggling with a fish, sweating all over. The fish was jumping on the chopping board, and he was waving the kitchen knife around, making bang, bang sounds. The fish was jumping so vigorously that it suddenly jumped off the counter and landed at my feet. I was face to face with Liam holding a kitchen knife. I joked, Oh, a murder scene? Liam didn't laugh. He said seriously, Sit on the sofa and wait, I'll make breakfast for you. I craned my neck to peek into the kitchen. What are you planning to cook? Liam moved my head back and seriously listed the dishes: sweet and sour spare ribs, squirrel-shaped mandarin fish, cola chicken wings, steamed hairy crab. These are all my favorite dishes. I was touched, but I didn't want the kitchen to be destroyed after this meal. I patted Liam's shoulder. Keep breakfast simple. There are dumplings I made in the second layer of the freezer, boil them. An hour later, Liam brought the dumplings to the table. I looked at the relatively intact dumplings in my bowl, then at the pork and mushroom soup with wrapper bits in his bowl, and got up to get another bowl. I scooped half of my dumplings into it and asked, "Why are you learning to cook all of a sudden?" Liam obediently took the bowl, hesitated, and said, "I didn't realize cooking was this hard." I gave him a weird look. "It's fine. I like cooking, so I think it's manageable." Liam shook his head and stopped talking. After the meal, as soon as I opened my phone, I saw Liam's message barrage. From last night until now, this chatterbox Liam hadn't stopped. I was asleep and he was still sending messages. "Teacher, I've made progress. My wife said to me, 'The stars are in the sky, you are in my heart, so happy.' Teacher, I found a book, I think it makes sense, could you take a look? Link, Marriage Before Love, 36 Love Tricks. Teacher, the book says to win a woman's heart, you must first win her stomach. I've decided to make a love breakfast for my wife tomorrow." My finger scrolled down to see Liam's latest message. "Teacher, I failed. Cooking is so hard. Teacher, our arrangement is my wife cooks and I wash dishes, but today I learned cooking is this exhausting. I quit my job as a chef just so I could eat my wife's cooking every day. I'm really worthless. I'm really worthless." I couldn't help but imagine Liam waking up in the middle of the night, slapping himself twice, saying I'm worthless. Ah, a bit scary. Thinking of that, I quickly comforted him. Then, "Did your wife blame you?" Liam replied instantly, "No, she shared her food with me." I said, "That means the outcome was still good, it's just your approach was wrong, you should do what you're good at to show your skills." 5 minutes later, Liam replied, "Understood, teacher." I turned off my phone, took Paojong the cat's paw, and stared into its big eyes. Your dad understood again. Meow. 2 hours later, the doorbell rang. I opened the door and faced the florist holding a huge bouquet of roses. "Are you Scarlett? This is a custom 999 rose bouquet ordered by Mr. Liam. I felt a headache. Can I return it?" The other person smiled. "Sorry, no. I had them bring it in." The florist placed the flowers and unfurled a 3-meter-wide banner that read, "Happy 357th Wedding Anniversary to Liam and Scarlett." I was speechless. But it wasn't over. An hour later, the doorbell rang again. This time it was a salesperson from a luxury brand, carrying 7 or 8 orange shopping bags, smiling at me. "Ms. Scarlett, these are the latest bags ordered by Mr. Liam for you." After 3 or 4 groups came, I was almost buried under shopping bags in the walk-in closet. I was completely stunned. Liam showed up late. Leaning against the doorframe, he said indifferently, "I think this cloakroom is a bit small. I'll have someone knock down the wall tomorrow so that everything can fit in." I immediately stopped his insanely lavish idea and started typing on my phone. Liam's phone rang. He took it out, glanced at it, his face changed, and he immediately walked into the study. "Liam, teacher, what's up?" I typed quickly, "What have you done?" Liam immediately reported what he had done, his words full of pride. "Teacher, didn't I do a good job?" I couldn't help but wonder what his intention was. "Liam, to show off my financial power." That made sense. After filling all the vases at home, I was desperate. Seeing that the whole house had become a sea of flowers, and only 1/3 of the bunch of roses was gone. I went upstairs and knocked on the study door. "Come out with me." Liam immediately went to change his clothes and asked me, "Are we going to buy vases?" I followed him into the cloakroom. "No, but there's something else. Don't wear that shirt that costs over 80,000. Find something that looks shabby." Liam obediently put the shirt back, picked up a t-shirt, and looked at me with his eyes, asking if it was okay. I nodded. He was about to take off his home clothes, but suddenly stopped and looked at me in confusion. I raised my hand to cover my eyes and urged him, "Hurry up and change." "I won't look." Liam didn't say a word, but his ears were extremely red. I listened to the sound of the clothes rubbing against each other and secretly parted my fingers a little. "Oh, Those abs, that broad shoulder, that collarbone. It had been a year. He had always covered himself up so tightly. My sight gradually moved up. Those lips. They looked so kissable. His nose was also very straight. His eyes. I met Liam's gaze directly. Ah. I quickly turned around. Behind me came Liam's smiling voice. Is it good looking? Yes, it was. I secretly answered in my heart. You can touch. My face instantly turned bright red. Oh my God, what kind of bold words were these? Don't want to touch. Hurry up and change your clothes. I'll wait for you downstairs. After saying that, I ran away without seeing Liam's meaningful look behind me. Scarlett and Liam loaded the roses into the car and drove to a busy crossroads. They opened the trunk, and the delicate red roses glowed under the streetlights. Scarlett took out the pre-written sign, "Red Roses, 3 for $9.90. She put the sign in place, then carried out 2 small stools, patted them, and motioned for Liam to sit down. She had been worried that Liam would be uncomfortable, but he seemed quite happy. The roses were of good quality and sold at a low price, so business came quickly. First, a couple came, then a group of cute, chattering high school students, and even an elderly couple in their 60s patronized. After a while, a little boy came, holding a big handful of change, and seriously asked if he could buy only 2. I squatted down to tease him. Who are you buying the flowers for? The little boy said he was going to give them to his wife. I was amused by him and looked at the little tyke in front of me. Are you in kindergarten? The little boy said seriously, Sister, I'm in the junior class of kindergarten. All of a sudden, Liam handed over a big bunch of roses and stuck them right between the two of us. The little boy and I looked at him in confusion. Liam said sincerely, Of course, you should give the best flowers to your wife. The little boy was stunned for a moment and seemed a bit at a loss. But I can't afford them. Liam immediately said, I'll give them to you. You go and give them to your wife. Was this some kind of mutual understanding between love-struck people? I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I pushed Liam aside and pinched the little boy's chubby cheeks. Can you run an errand for us? That way, it can offset part of the cost. The little boy agreed. I directed him to buy a bunch of candied haws. After he came back, I gave him the roses. The little boy hugged the flowers, bowed to us, and said seriously, I wish you two a long and happy marriage. Liam was very happy. This kid really knows how to talk. I gave the candied haws to Liam and said with a smile, I bought this for you. Thank you for accompanying me to set up the stall. Liam looked calm, took the candied haws and said, You're welcome. Then he turned around and started typing away. I took out my phone and peeked. My wife gave me a bunch of candied haws on her own initiative. So happy after that day, Liam seemed to have an epiphany. He said on WeChat, Teacher, I think I'm not doing well enough in one aspect. I haven't fully shown my personal charm. I thought about it and felt that he made sense, so I encouraged him to go ahead boldly. Liam then said, Teacher, can you tell me exactly what I should do? You know, I don't know either. But since the student has asked, I can't let him down. Just flirt with her. Use your good looks to seduce her. For example, have some casual physical contact, don't wear your bathrobe properly, give her a good night kiss, let her feel your abs. The more I typed, the redder my face became. Inevitably, I thought of some inappropriate pictures. Stop it! I've been led astray by this pervert Liam. I sent the message. Liam's reply tone was full of pride. Teacher, how do you know I have abs? Because I've seen them. Of course, I couldn't say that. I immediately tried to fool him. Don't abs come as standard for successful men? I have abs. Don't tell me you don't. Liam replied instantly, I do. Thank you, teacher. Facts proved that Liam was indeed a smart and clever student. That night, when he came out of the bathroom, he wiped his hair and glanced at me. Suddenly, he said, Scarlett, can you help me blow dry my hair? My eyes uncontrollably landed on his 8-pack abs. Sure. Liam sat on the bed and I stood beside it. His collar was loose. Looking down from above, I saw everything I shouldn't and should have seen. I tried to focus on his hair. Liam's hair was black and soft. I couldn't help but touch it twice. Then I found that his ears were even redder. He was so innocent. I was screaming inside, but on the surface, I still looked calm. I hid under the covers and giggled after Liam left. Soon, Liam came back. I quickly closed my eyes and pretended to be asleep. He turned off the bedside lamp but didn't lie down right away. I was just feeling strange when suddenly I felt a kiss on my forehead. Good night. If Liam was just testing the waters on the first day, then on the second day, he was being blatant. He sat beside me during meals, lay on my lap while watching movies, and even offered to give me a massage. I have to say, his massage skills were really good. I was happy to enjoy it, but Liam had a new worry. Teacher, I'm trying to flirt with my wife, but why isn't she reacting? Well, your wife can be patient. Is my approach wrong? I replied, maybe you're not putting in enough effort. Your wife just didn't notice. Liam asked, Teacher, should I just pounce on her? My hand paused as I was typing. Well, maybe it's not a bad idea. Just as I was hesitating how to reply, I suddenly heard footsteps. I quickly turned off my phone and picked up a book from the side, pretending to read. Liam came over and sat beside me, silently looking at me. I put down the book and forced a couple of laughs. What's up? You're holding the book upside down. Oh no! I quickly turned the book around and continued laughing. Ha ha ha. I accidentally held it upside down, haha. But Liam didn't laugh. He leaned in slowly, his eyes filled with an emotion I couldn't understand. He was so close that I could see my reflection in his pupils. My mind went blank, and I stammered, WH. What's going on? Liam held my face with both hands, and his gaze slowly landed on my lips. Close your eyes. His voice was really nice, and I instinctively did as he said. But after waiting for a long time, nothing happened. I secretly opened one eye and met Liam's annoyed look. I was completely confused. As my line of sight gradually moved up, I saw a pair of cat paws pressing against Liam's forehead. Cat paws? I looked up blankly and saw Popper's chubby chin and round belly. It was standing on the armrest of the sofa behind my head, seriously reaching out its paws to stop Liam. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed that a cat could have such a serious expression. Pooh ha ha. I laughed even louder under Liam's resentful gaze. After that, Liam was very unhappy. He squatted beside Popper, muttering non-stop. Something like what you're doing is wrong. It's only natural for Daddy to kiss Mommy. Ruining good things means no canned food and so on. He looked like an old father who was half dead with anger because of his naughty son. And Popper just rolled over in his nagging and fell into a deeper sleep. This really pissed Liam off. He gave Popper a couple of hard rubs and threatened to throw it out to be a stray cat. I poked my head out of the kitchen, trying to stop this family conflict. No. Liam was startled and quickly withdrew his hand, returning to his usual cold and taciturn self. I didn't say anything. I sized him up but didn't say a word. Liam panicked. I was just scaring it. I'm not really going to throw it out. Oh. I nodded and then asked, aren't you afraid of cats? Liam said dryly, now it's okay. I slightly raised my eyebrows and sighed, that's really a medical miracle. Liam reluctantly agreed with me. Then he turned around and wailed on WeChat, I really hate that stinky cat. I'm not afraid of cats. I'm just jealous that it can get close to my wife. I mercilessly exposed him, you're just jealous. Liam, accurate, correct, and incisive. Crying emoji, I advised him to get along well with the cat at home, and Liam hesitantly agreed. After a while, he asked again, Teacher, I want to invite Scarlett to the company celebration. Do you think it's okay? I hesitated for a moment and asked him why he wanted to invite Scarlett. In the past, I was worried that she hated me and that she wouldn't want to participate in activities with me. But now I understand that I should give her blatant love. I want her to know, and I want the whole world to know. I love her. My heart skipped a beat. This was the first time I accompanied Liam to a public event. I was wearing a dark blue narrow swing dress and walked into the celebration venue on Liam's arm. As soon as we entered, many eyes fell on me. There were looks of surprise, admiration, and unfriendly scrutiny. I followed the looks and saw Olivia standing in the crowd, with a face as black as the bottom of a pot. Liam noticed my movement and whispered that she was his assistant. I nodded and said I knew. I had met Olivia a year ago. It was when Liam and I just got married. Liam's appearance was very much to my liking, and he had done me a favor, so I had a good impression of him. That day, I made some pastries and took them to Liam's company to give him a surprise. But I was stopped by Olivia downstairs. She spread her arms to block the company door and wouldn't let me in. Mr. Smith asked me to tell you that he hates you very much. Don't come here again in the future. Since Olivia was Liam's assistant, I didn't doubt her words. I consciously distanced myself from Liam and quietly played the role of a tool for a business marriage. But now it seemed that Olivia was clearly lying at that time. At this moment, a male voice interrupted my thoughts. This must be Mr. Smith's wife. You two are really a perfect match. I pulled myself together, showed a gentle and proper smile, and started chatting with Liam's business partner. After the man left, Liam turned to me and asked, "Are you bored?" "Not really." I shook my head. Then I couldn't help adding, "You look very handsome like this." Liam's eyes lit up. "What way?" "You're so confident and eloquent in a business setting." "It's so handsome." Before I could finish my sentence, I suddenly felt a force pulling my wrist. I looked back in a daze and saw Olivia's back. She was holding a bottle of red wine in one hand and my wrist in the other. Ignoring everyone's strange looks, she walked forward boldly. Olivia dragged me away, and Liam followed blankly. He wanted to ask what was going on, but as soon as he opened his mouth, Olivia interrupted him. "Don't say a word. Just follow me." Liam was stunned for a moment and fell silent. Olivia pulled me to a quiet and deserted balcony and let go of my hand. Liam frowned at my red wrist and gently rubbed it. We locked eyes, and he asked me with his gaze what was wrong. I could only shrug to indicate I didn't know. Olivia had her back to us, took a big gulp of alcohol, and finally spoke up. She let out an earth-shattering burp as soon as she opened her mouth. "Hick. Liam, I adore you so much. I've liked you for ages, even. Hick. After you got married, I still like you." This sounded like a confession. I mouthed to Liam if I should step aside, but Liam pulled me into an embrace, his eyes warning me not to dare leave. I had no choice but to stay put and listen. I thought if you didn't like Scarlett, I'd still have a chance. But then... Hick. You made it public. What am I supposed to do? I shot Liam an accusing look. "See? That's what you get for leading others on." Liam covered my eyes with a helpless expression. "But if you feel even a little for me, I wouldn't mind." "Wouldn't mind." Olivia finally mustered her courage, spinning around sharply. We stared at each other wide-eyed, the rest of her words catching in her throat. I quietly shifted Liam's fingers aside, feeling awkward. "I didn't mean to overhear. You grabbed the wrong person." The cold night breeze made me shiver. Liam took off his suit jacket and draped it over my shoulders. Olivia seemed to sober up a bit from the chill, losing her earlier bravado. Liam said coldly, "Olivia, I've never had that kind of feeling for you." Olivia whined pitifully, "But we grew up together." Liam pinched the bridge of his nose with a weary expression. "Just because we were kids doesn't make us childhood sweethearts. I even changed your diapers back then." "Then why did you hire me at your company?" "Because your dad came to me and asked me to find you a job." Olivia's lips trembled. Then why make me your assistant and barely assign me any work?" Liam snapped, "Because your work skills are pathetic, and I couldn't stick you in janitorial duty, so I gave you a cushy position." Liam grew angrier, launching into a tirade. "You can't even create a simple report without someone guiding you step by step." When you booked flights for a client, you gave their assistant first class while putting the big client in economy, nearly ruining the deal. It's bad enough you skip real work, but you're always late or leaving early. You spilled coffee all over a client just pouring a cup. How could I trust you with actual tasks? I was afraid you'd bankrupt the company. If it weren't for your dad begging me repeatedly, I'd have fired you ages ago. Liam glared down at her, voice icy. Anything else to say? I. Olivia went pale, unable to form a complete sentence. Her mouth twisted as she burst out sobbing and ran off. Liam delivered the final blow. Don't come into work tomorrow. Go home and bother your dad. Olivia tripped over her own feet and fell flat on her face, wailing louder. After Olivia left, I told Liam what happened earlier. He looked shocked and bewildered, staying silent for a long time. I'm sorry, Scarlett, this is all my fault. I said curiously, shouldn't it be Olivia's fault? Liam shook his head slightly. I didn't know she liked me, and I've never disliked you, I've always liked you. His voice was strained with nerves. Scarlett, do you have any feelings for me at all? Even a tiny bit? Liam's words left me lost in thought. I recalled his random tweets on X, remembered the loving breakfast he made for me, thought of the kiss he left on my forehead, and pictured his silly grin as he held a candied hawthorn stick. Such a Liam, how could he not make anyone's heart flutter? He took 99 steps toward me, so I took the last one. I like you. As soon as the words were out, Liam hugged me tightly, then kissed my cheek. Liam's eyes sparkled, he cupped my face, his voice bubbling with excitement. Scarlett, I really like you. Scarlett, I love you. Under the soft, beautiful moonlight, I gazed at Liam's handsome face and finally mustered up the courage. There's something I need to confess. Liam's smile faltered, his tone suddenly odd. I have something too. I cut him off instantly, closed my eyes, steeled my nerves, and blurted out, I surrender first. Actually, it was me all along, I'm Scarlett. Scarlett is my secret account on WeChat. I kept my eyes shut, afraid to see Liam's expression. Would he get mad and start yelling before banning me from chatting? Or kick me and my firecrackers out onto the street? My mind raced with confusion when I heard Liam's amused voice. Silly, I knew all along. I opened my eyes bewildered, covered in question marks. But Liam didn't explain, he pulled me into his arms, his deep voice murmuring above my head. Marrying you wasn't accidental, I planned it. I looked up in surprise, meeting Liam's tender gaze. 2 years ago, at the riverside in Forest Park, I saw you save someone. I racked my brain, and yeah, I remembered that. I'd been strolling by the river when I spotted a person struggling in the water and leapt in to help. Turned out, the water only came up to my calves. But I slipped in my hurry and landed in the mud with a splash. To make it worse, the guy wasn't drowning, he was digging for lotus roots. That day, Liam was in the crowd watching, he later told me it was love at first sight. And I tried to get your number afterward, but you ran off too fast. Seriously? I was covered in stinking mud with soaked shorts, why wouldn't I run? I couldn't help a mix of laughter and groans. That was just a silly mix-up and super awkward. But Liam spoke earnestly, no, you looked radiant that day, shining like an angel. Afterward, I searched for you everywhere until I heard you'd gotten married. Scarlett, Liam stroked my cheek gently, his voice sincere. Being married to you, I feel incredibly lucky. I stood on tiptoe to kiss his lips. Me too. Extra scene 1, after clearing the air with Liam, he dropped all pretenses and showed his true self. When I pressed him about how he'd seen through my disguise, he pointed at his cheek. I planted a big, smacking kiss. Liam turned his other cheek, hinting for another. I did, and Liam cleared his throat. You retweeted a story on your secret account on X about that woman who sold 999 roses after receiving them. So I gave myself away when those flowers arrived. And I actually coached Liam on how to tempt me. Ah, so embarrassing. Liam smirked triumphantly, driving it home. The IP address on X matched yours, and more importantly, your schedule lined up perfectly with the teacher's. I had nothing left to say and sighed in defeat. Okay, I got outplayed this time. Next. Huh? Liam raised an eyebrow slightly. There'll be a next time? I quickly shut my mouth, but Liam pressed on, leaning closer to me. Teacher, you haven't taught me how to win over Scarlet. My face flushed bright red, and I instinctively tried to step back. Well, that's something this teacher can't teach. Liam reached out to wrap his arm around my waist, then bit my collarbone and spoke in a low voice. Then why not let the student teach you? Liam might be a clingy, hopeless romantic at heart. He took it upon himself to drive me to and from work, which terrified the family driver, who thought he'd lose his job. I comforted the worried driver and went to talk to Liam, only to see him carrying a huge box through the door. What's this? Liam looked mysterious as he pulled me over to the box. Open it up. I opened it to find a box full of couples items, from small keychains to large matching pajamas, practically blinding me. Liam proudly said, "It's been in my shopping cart for ages, now I can finally use it." I rummaged through and found a pair of bunny and fox-themed matching hair clips. I casually clipped the bunny onto Liam's hair, then put the fox on my own head, and mentioned the driver issue to Liam. To my surprise, Liam turned serious and earnest. "I have to pick you up after work. Last time I saw that male coworker of yours trying to give you a ride home." I laughed, unsure whether to be amused or exasperated, but I refused him. Liam still wasn't reassured. Suddenly, he asked, "Let me test you. If someone says they like you, how should you respond?" I said, "Of course, tell them I'm married." Liam shook his head. "That won't work, it's not cold enough. It leaves room for hope and daydreaming." I humbly asked for advice. "Well, what do you suggest?" Liam thought hard for a moment, then lit up. "Just say, get lost." I was silent for a second, then replied, "Okay." He moved in close again, shuffling shyly. "What's your lock screen like?" I tapped my phone to show him. It was a beautiful picture of Firecracker. Liam gritted his teeth. "Stinky cat." Firecracker, walking by, paused in his steps and narrowed his big, round eyes. "Meow. Stinky cat. Meow." They managed to argue despite the language barrier. I grabbed Firecracker with one hand and pushed Liam away with the other, tossing both of them out of the bedroom. Ah, at last, peace and quiet. A while later, I got a message from Liam. "The most amazing Firecracker, photo, the most amazing Firecracker, this picture's great, it'll do for your lock screen." I clicked to see it was a photo of Liam and Firecracker together. Liam had a sullen face, Firecracker was wide-eyed and staring, making the whole scene quite amusing. I set it as my lock screen wallpaper and replied, "Read. The most amazing Firecracker, Rose, heart." Some online users call Firecracker's name weird, which I find totally unfair. I have solid logic behind my naming, okay? Firecracker got his name because he's feisty and loves to headbutt people. Back when he was a stray cat, he often fought with other cats due to his bad temper. Fighting is fighting. When other cats open their mouths, it sticks out its head. When other cats extend their claws, it still sticks out its head. Defined by foolishness, it ended up getting the tip of its ear bitten off. After I adopted it, I barely managed to get along with it, and then it went to bump into Liam. But Liam is tall and long-legged, standing firmly, and it couldn't budge him, so it gave up later. Liam always thought his first love was A Chang, who is my neighbor's husky. Their family also has a corgi named Asian. I gave them both their names, but I'm not particularly close with them. That day, I patted both of them on the head, and A Chang chased after me and bit me. Asian didn't bite me, not because she liked me, but because her legs were short and she couldn't catch up. Hammer isn't a man's name. Hammer is my best friend. She hits people like a hammer, hence the name. 3 years after marrying Liam, I got pregnant. After 10 months of pregnancy, I smoothly gave birth to a daughter. She is so well-behaved, soft, and adorable. Holding her made me feel like the whole world was beautiful. How about calling her World? Liam was drinking water and sprayed it out directly. After a while, he said hesitantly, "Probably not good." I thought about it. How about Shuanshin? Sounds like the name of a little white dog. Then how about fireworks? Similar to firecrackers. It'll explode. I took a deep breath. Then maybe we should think it over more carefully. Okay. The story ends here. Thanks for your company. See you in the next story.